What's up, Kansas City? I'm your host, Glenn Brian Frizzell. Today we are filming in the historic 18th and Vine Jazz District at the Lincoln Building, home of Cascade Media Group. Today's special guest is the Senior Manager of the Midwest Region Office, Kansas City Branch, Inroads, Miss Melissa Amaya-Colorado. Welcome to What's Up, Kansas City today.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Inroads program? Give us a little history, please.
Certainly. Inroads is a nonprofit organization, and we are a direct result of Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech in Washington in 1963. In fact, our founder, Frank Carr, was in the audience on that day, and like the hundreds of thousands of people who were in the audience, was challenged to make a difference in the world. His difference was what we know today as Inroads, which is an opportunity for students of diverse backgrounds and also underserved populations to get internship opportunities within corporate America.
Internships within corporate America. Now, is there a particular selection process? Do you go into the high schools, or do high school students come to you?
Well, actually, we have dedicated national recruiters whose sole job is to recruit at several universities. On the regional level, and specifically here in Kansas City, my job is to recruit at the local universities, but also to work with high school counselors and community representatives to help identify students that are from high school senior through college senior for our internship process.
Now, when I was a high school senior, my guidance counselor, he pulled me out of class and said, this is a meeting you should go to. I remember being in the audience during one of the Inroads presentations. All of the class of 1998 seniors who were identified, we sat in the audience and we listened. At that time, I did not sign up. My mom probably would kill me. It's probably still saying you should have signed up, took advantage of the opportunity, only because Inroads did not have my major. I wanted to go into journalism. Are there particular majors that you work with?
Now, when you went through Inroads, you probably do remember that there weren't that many opportunities for students if you weren't an engineering or business major. Inroads is now a totally different organization. We offer every major under the sun.
Wow.
So liberal arts and every major that falls under that, every facet of business, every facet of IT, engineering, you name it. Now, we may not have the internship here in Kansas City, but if the student is willing to relocate, then we can find them an internship anywhere in one of our Inroad cities in the country.
Wow, sounds like no reason not to get involved. Can you tell me some of the partnerships Inroads work?
Certainly. We have several companies based here in Kansas City that have been partners with us since we started in 1979. Some of those are Sprint, the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City, Hallmark Cards, IBM, UMB Bank. So lots of great Fortune 500 companies who believe in the Inroads mission, which is to develop and place talented, underserved youth in business and industry and prepare them for corporate and community leadership.
And what kind of regional programs do you have coming up? I heard you mention you're going to St. Louis.
We are, yes. Now, part of the Inroads process and what makes us unique, and a reason why several corporate sponsors partner with us, is that we provide professional development training to students. So not only do the companies provide the internship experience, but during the summer we're providing ongoing training, ongoing workshops and sessions that will enable them to continue to build upon professional experience and expertise. And in a couple of weeks we will be traveling to St. Louis, Missouri, and this includes not just our Kansas City interns, but also our St. Louis and our interns who are in Omaha and Des Moines, Omaha, Lincoln, Nebraska, and also Des Moines, Iowa.
And that is the Midwest region.
Yes, correct. And so we will all travel to St. Louis. The Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis will be hosting us for 2 days, where students will engage in professional development workshops and sessions to, again, build upon those skills, make them a sharper employee, and also apply what they learn in the classroom when they head back to school in the fall.
Now, you've mentioned Inroads' mission statement. I would like to add on to that. Inroads is the premier source for paid internships, development of corporate leaders, and corporate placement. A lot of post-high school education goes into training. You mentioned there's a particular training process that the student goes through before he even is partnered with a particular corporation. All in all, are you finding that high school students are prepared to enter into the corporate America?
You know, we are finding that some students don't have that experience, some students do. So I would say it's about 50-50 with regard to the students who apply to the Inroads process. We are here to help any of those students. Again, you know, the reason why Inroads was founded by Frank Carr for back in 1970 is he believed that there was talent in the barrios and in the ghettos of America, and given the right opportunities that those students would succeed. And so we make sure that we find those students who are really diamonds in the rough, but also those students who do have some of the skills. And either way, we want to help them get their foot in the door. They may not have access, they may not have contacts, but we want to make sure to open that door for them and provide them with that experience.
Barrios in the ghettos, so can anyone participate? If I go to Rockhurst or Notre Dame, can I also sign up?
Anyone can participate in the Inroads process. The only criteria is that you be or consider yourself an underserved population. And underserved can cover diverse, it can cover financial need, it can cover first generation, international students, any student who feels that they otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity or access to get their foot in the door or to get in front of corporate representatives. That is who we serve and the population that we want to work with.
When you committed to doing this interview, Ms. Amaya, I went online and I looked at Black Enterprise, which has been a staple in the business community for minorities for over 40 years now. And this particular article is entitled, "When the Going Gets Tough, the Tough Get Going, Getting an Education in the Corporate World." And it's dated August of 1987. I want to read to you two things that stuck out for me at the time when I read it, and I want your feedback. Do these still ring true? The new corporate atmosphere presents another dilemma for Black white-collar workers. As the number of Black middle managers shrink, there will be fewer seasoned professionals to guide entry-level Blacks through the corporate maze. And in the boardroom, the emphasis has been squarely placed on immediate profits, not affirmative action. Consequently, minorities may find that they continue to fare less well than their white counterparts. Are those particular, is this still true? And if so, what is Inroads doing to combat that?
I would say the facet of that that's true is that we don't have enough diversity in corporate America. Now, yes, we have people who are diverse getting in there, but are they where they need to be? Are they executives? Are they supervisors? Are they in those decision-making positions? My answer would be not enough. So our goal is to recruit students to get into the Inroads process to gain those skills that will enable them to be in those roles. That is the goal of Inroads, is conversion. So we don't partner with any companies who cannot say, we want to hire, or we have a goal of hiring this intern when they graduate with their bachelor's degree. If they can't agree with that, then it's not going to be the best partnership. And because there is an investment, monetary, time on the side of the company,
Certainly.
It would make sense for them to do that. So until we see more people of color in those roles within corporate America, our job is not done.
Wow, that is an awesome statement there, Miss Melissa. I remember when I was going to my senior year, the students who were in my homeroom who signed up to be involved with Inroads were talking about having to attend this particular meeting, this going away reception. And I remember when they came back home, they were leaders. They stood out from their college communities. They had internships at banks, they had internships at various corporations, and you really look to them to be the business leaders of tomorrow. Now I went away to college. I came back home, Miss Amaya, and one thing that I saw that alarmed me were the number of payday loan establishments in my neighborhood, where there used to be dry cleaners and businesses. You see 4 or 5 different payday loans within the stretch of 1 mile. I would like to get your assessment on that, and as part of Inroad mission to train these particular leaders to be leaders in the business arena.
Yes, we have several students who will go through the Inroads process whose long-term goal is to be entrepreneurs and own their own businesses. Now, what a lot of Generation Y, Z, I guess what we're in right now, that they don't realize is you have to work to get there. You can't just graduate and think you can open a business. You got to get some experience. And so that's what we want to do. We want to give them some experience along the way so that they can open the doors to their own business when that time comes later on down the road. And so we want to be able to help those students, if their goal is entrepreneurship, open shops in ghettos and barrios of America to where they can actually contribute to the community. Community is a big part of the Inroads process as well. All of our students are required to do community service. It's part of our vision, part of our mission statement, something that our founder Frank Carr was very, very invested in, and it's something that we want to continue to push our students to also be involved in.
the relevance of social media. Social media has definitely evolved since you and I went off to college. How important is it for teenagers, young adults to be well versed in social media aspects that contribute to their marketing ability as a particular future leader of corporate America?
Right. You know that answer. It's very important. And social media really is the way that students now can build a brand for themselves. Now, that brand can be positive, and it can also be negative. So we actually have a training course for students called Social Media, the Misconceptions, and students can actually go through the training and understand how to use social media to their professional benefit. And there are nuances in there, of course, things to remember, things not to do, what to do. And so our training enables them to get the experience that they need and the understanding to know what they should and should not do with regard to social media. Things like, yes, students love Facebook, they love Instagram, they love Twitter, but not a lot of them are on LinkedIn. And we know that LinkedIn is the #1 social media platform where students can really launch their careers, get to learn who the professionals are in their trade, connect with CEOs of corporate America, and that really has been a great springboard for enabling them to build their resumes and to meet the right people.
Ms. Amaya, I have about 3 more questions for you.
Okay.
I thank you for being very generous with your time. I mentioned earlier that I went off to school, and I understand, and I told you about, interacting with various Inroads candidates, individuals doing internships with Inroads. Can you tell me a little bit about your Inroad experience?
Oh, sure. Now, Inroads was a little different back then. We had a pre-college component where we would recruit high school sophomores going into their junior year for that process, and I was lucky enough to be selected for that process. So I can tell you now over half my life has been part of Inroads, and that's a great thing. So back then I had an opportunity to take summer courses on a college campus that would give me college credit. Of course, business has changed, business needs have changed, so we're more of a college component, recruiting high school seniors and then college freshmen through seniors for internships. And I actually had the opportunity to complete a 5-summer internship with Hallmark Cards here in Kansas City.
Congratulations.
Thank you. The most memorable part was writing cards. I had an opportunity my first summer to write cards for Hallmark, to see my name on a card in the store, and they're still there. So
that's amazing.
That is fantastic. Those are the kinds of experiences that our interns receive. If you're a marketing major, you're going to give presentations to the CEO, to the VPs of your company. You're not going to be sitting at a desk all day just completing paperwork. Whatever your major is, the Inroads process makes sure that the companies we partner with give you real career-related experience.
Awesome. Real career-related experience.
Yes.
I'm sure Kansas City, the region here, has its own success stories. Would you care to share a couple?
Oh, definitely. I can share a success story with an intern who graduated and actually converted with her company. She's now with Sprint, and she has been with Sprint for several years. In fact, that was her first sponsoring company, and she continues to move up within the ranks. In fact, she married another Inroads alum who was working at Kansas City Power and Light, and I'm thinking of Stan and Sheila Lister, and both of them now upper management within both of their companies, doing great, being successful, but most importantly, coming back to facilitate for Inroads, helping us with workshops, reaching back and helping students get the same experience that they reached. And that's what we want from our alumni. That's why we call Inroads a process and not a program, because a program has a start and an end. A process, you continue on. So even when students graduate from the Inroads process, they become alumni and they still benefit from the wonderful experiences that we can provide to them as an alum.
Fabulous. Can you tell me any specific goals, any objectives that you have for this summer?
To continue to grow until, again, we see more underserved individuals in corporate America. We want to continue to work to help students get those experiences. So to grow Kansas City to several, hopefully 50 to more interns within the next couple of years. We're sitting at 25 for this summer, so we want to double that within the next couple of years and continue to grow the market, partner with more businesses, and then also just make sure that companies are aware that Inroads is a great opportunity for them to build up diversity within their corporations, but also get full-time employees that will hit the ground running and contribute to the success of their company.
Now, how competitive is the selection process?
It's very competitive. We never promise an intern that they will get an internship, but we will promise that we will get their resume in the right hands for consideration. So it is a 3.0 GPA in order to be considered, and making sure that you do have at least one summer left before you graduate from college. So we will look at college seniors if they're not graduating within the 4-year time frame and perhaps going on for another summer, or perhaps even going on to master's degrees. We do have several companies who will keep an undergrad student on for an additional summer if they're going straight on for a master's degree. So there's opportunities there as well.
So the program exists not only in the high school level, but the college level as well. Where could interested parties contact you, Ms. Amaya?
Well, www.inroads.org is our website. You can apply directly on that website, submit your application along with your resume and your transcript. Within 24 hours, an Inroads representative will get in touch with you to put you in touch with an Inroads manager in your local area, and then start the process so that we can get you in and get you an internship for the summer.
Ms. Amaya, I want to thank you for coming and sharing with us today.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having us.
I really enjoyed this.
Thank you, Glenn.
My name is Glenn Brian Frizzell. Today's special guest was Miss Melissa Amaya, who is the Inroads Director for the Midwest Region, Manager, Director. Say that very elegantly and gracefully. Thank you for joining us today. You can check out more video online at www.what'supkansascity.net. And remember, the sky is the limit. Aim high. Shoot for the moon. If you miss, at the very least, you would have landed among the stars. Take care until next time. Thank you.
CMG wants you to always remember, the victory we call success goes to the best prepared. When you invest in your community, you're really just investing in yourself. Thanks.